Okay, the third time is the charm. If this doesn't work, I'm going to do a rotation and we'll just have a smaller screen tonight for some reason. I'm not real sure what's going on with my phone. Last week it did this to me. And then, yes, it's doing it again. Okay, so we're just going to try to turn this ever so gently. Okay. That's just what we're going to have to do. Ooh, you're going to see the gross part of my desk. Hi, good evening. It's Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm sorry about that, guys. Hey, Amy. Not really sure what's going on with my phone, so the screen's going to be a little bit smaller today. There we go. I got that up so I can see my comments. Sorry, that's kind of got me frazzled a little bit. As I said, this is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Mid-Missouri. And today we're going to do a card using, gotta clean up my gross desk now. We're doing a card using the Sentimental Park collection. So this is the stamp set. It comes with this beautiful DSP here, the Regency Park. And you can tell that this is a well-loved pack. I think that's two packs in one. Amy, it's terrible. I'm a little flustered now. Last week I stopped and restarted and it did it. So fine. So, hey guys, thanks so much for joining me. So, this is going to be on my blog tomorrow. So, it's a nice fun fold and, it's got some special dimensions. So all of that will be available on my blog at tarabethstamps.blogspot.com. So, before we get started, I'm going to show you a couple of items I got in the mail on Friday. So, as you may know, Stampin' Up started some online exclusives last week. And so I've got a couple of those items for you guys to see. So this is going to be the gold and silver trim pack. I don't have this silver opened, but this is a really great ribbon. It's about 1/8 of an inch, I would say. And it makes really beautiful bows. That's the first thing I do when I grab a ribbon pack. Hey, Mary. Hey, Susan. Is I always just give it a whirl and see what kind of bow it does. How easily it makes a bow. That kind of tells me if I'm going to like it or not. And this one does do some pretty cool bows. So I liked it. It's nice and thick. It's got a little bit of texture to it and a little bit of durability, so it's not going to fray and it'll look beautiful on cards. So here is the Irresistible Blooms that you may have seen already, and then there's the Rhino Ready. So this is a cute little Stampin' die set. It's got matching dies, and these cute little trees are going to be so fun to make. So that one, and then the embossing folders that you may have seen already. They come in a 3-pack. So these are the basic 3D embossing folders. So this is what you want to get for your collection for sure. This would be the #1 item in my opinion on all of the online stuff. But coming up second would be these Radiant, what are they? Radiant Stitch dies. So these are gorgeous. And I use these on this one on my card from today. So these are going to be that perfect standalone set that you want to have for cards every day. There's a tropical leaf. I didn't get that one. I'm kind of regretting that already. But yeah, it's beautiful. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. All right, so now we're going to get to today's card here. Let's see here. I've got all sorts of white cardstock here that we're going to do a little bit of stamping on. So here's the card again. So we're going to do a bunch of different stamping. May as well bring my envelope out here too. That way we can go ahead and get it all kind of processed out here. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Night of Navy ink. And I'm going to try to streamline this a little bit. So I'm going to ink this up with my Night of Navy, and I have the sentiment from the Sentimental Park. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Sentimental Park stamp set. And I have a piece of basic white that I die cut with the stitched rectangle dies. So that's going to be on there. I'm going to set that out of the way. Then we're going to do a couple of these outlines that we're going to end up oh, let's flip that over. What is going on? Let's give this, seems like everything's going to go wrong tonight. Let's try. I don't think I cleaned this very well last night, and that's the problem. I'm going to pull this to me. Maybe that'll help. There we go. When in doubt, stamp it on something. Ooh. This is going to show what a messy stamper I am. All right, so I'm inking this up with the Night of Navy. This is the outlined. I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to open my card up and look at it again. Nope, I don't need to stamp this one. All right, and then this is the one that's going to go on the inside of the small side of the small flap. So I'm going to stamp that. All right, here we go. All right, set that to the side. And then we're going to bring in, oh, nope, we got one more thing. We've got the sentiment for the inside. And so this is a great sentiment that you can add. So there's a nice little 4 stamp that's up above the top that's by itself. And then you can add any of the little portions of the sentiment that it would go to. So you could put for your anniversary, for your graduation, just for you are amazing, for your new baby, for your new adventure. So a lot of different sentiments that you can add in there. Yeah, Mary, this one's one of those days that it's not going to be a good one. You just kind of got to go with the flow. For some reason, my stamps are not staying on my ink pads or my blocks very well. I've got new blocks on the way. I ordered them at the end of Celebration just to get that final order in. So I did that, I think, what was that, Tuesday, I guess? So I'm still waiting for those items to come in the mail. The other stuff I expedited because, you know, I couldn't wait. And luckily my expedited order worked this time. All right, so I'm filling in these flowers with the balmy blue. And it's a little forgiving, I'll be real honest. You don't have to be straight up perfect with this one. It works really well. All right. Now let's bring out my die cut machine. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't find good plates. I usually have my good plates and then my not so good plates. So I use my good plates when I'm on the camera. So these may look a little rough. But that's okay. We're all friends here, right? Okay. So I've got the Sentimental Park die set. And what I'm doing is I'm just sitting that. I'm going to pull this over so you guys can see that. So I'm lining it up. When I put my top plate on, I'm going to snap it down and hold it into place and start cranking before I put my hand at the top. So what that does is that allows me to get that die cut exactly where I want it without using tape or anything. And that's why I love this little machine, because I can kind of clamp it down. And even, I have pretty small hands. And even with pretty small hands, you can clamp it down and then you can see if it's going to shift or not. And once you get the cranking started, then you can hold that die machine in place. So that's one of my big tips for people. You know, I used that boho blue machine for months But any of the mini die cut machines, I love them just because they're small and handy for your desk. So once again, I'm going to clamp that down. So that shifted a little bit. Now I'm going to place it, pull it back up, and move it around a little bit just to make sure I get the perfect placement. There we go. I'm going to shift and snap down. And you'll just see I'm squeezing those back two plates at the bottom just so it doesn't pop out. So there we go. Set that back on the ink magnet pad and get this out of the way. There we go. All right. So now I think we're down to assembling. So this is going to look really wonky for you guys since we've got this weird view today. And I apologize for that. So I'm bringing out my Simply Score tool and I'm going to try to shift it and move it in the screen so you guys can see. So this is a piece of 5.5 by 10 1/8. And so I'm going to do 2 score lines, one at 4 1/8. Yeah, one at 4 1/8. So that's that small hash mark right there. So that's 4 1/8, and one at 8 3/8. So that's right below 8.5. And I didn't do what I told you I was going to do. There we go. I'll shift it. And so all these dimensions will be on my blog again tomorrow. Then I have a sheet of, there's another sheet of Night of Navy. And that is 3 1/4, I believe. Yeah, it's 3 1/4 by 7. And then we're going to score it at 3.5. So just right there at that half marker. And so that's going to be our little flap that's going to go on. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold and burnish one edge. And then this one we're folding over for the front flap. You give yourself a nice good burnish. The better your burnish, the better that crease will be and the flatter your card will lay. All right. So now we're down to assembling. So what I have is I have a bunch of panels of shaded spruce. So we'll do the inside flap first, or the outside flap first. I'm going to take some Stampin' Seal and just add a little bit on each side. And I'm going to use that shaded spruce matte. There we go. And now, I have a piece of crushed curry that I dry embossed using my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine with one of these basic 3D basic folders that's a must-have in my opinion. And so the cool thing about the embossing folders is you have an embossed and a debossed side. And so the way your cards look are different depending on what side you choose. So I think I'm going to use this side. I use the Stampin' Seal, especially on these embossed pieces, because I feel like it holds it down just a little bit better. And I am going to give it a little extra adhesive just because our paper sort of warps a little bit, I feel like, once you've embossed it. So I'm just going from corner to corner, making sure my edges are the same, and then I'm going to give it a nice edge. All right. So I use all of that extra seal on there just because I feel like those you don't want that warping to happen. Now for the rest of these, I usually only just use a little bit of seal on the top and the bottom. That way I can peel it off if I have to. There we go. And then we'll do the inside. So this is all we have to do for this little flap. Oops. All right. All right, there we go. We'll set that out of the way. And then I have 2 pieces of Shaded Spruce. One's going to go on the inside. I didn't mat the inside of this one. I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer because I didn't cut a little piece for the bottom here. Sorry about all that rustling. We'll do about 3/4. We're going to put that on the bottom of, you know, Rosie, I love this set because Night of Navy, I would say, is probably my favorite color. Like, I love all the colors that Stampin' Up! Has, but Night of Navy is like truly my go-to color. And when you throw it in with a little yellow or orange, I am all in. Orange is my all-time favorite color. I'm just picking out of the whole palette. And I know a lot of people don't like orange, but it's one of my faves. All right, just gonna give that a little snip. And now I have to figure out which one goes on the inside and which goes on the outside. I feel like, yep, that's the inside. All right, so the inside is just a little bit bigger. And you know what? I'm going to try this before I glue this in here make sure this is going to fit. Oh, yeah, yes, it is. The way tonight's going, I thought, oh, that's not even going to fit in there. All right. Now, sometimes if you get a little close to the edge, you might have a little bit of adhesive hanging off the edge. The nice thing is, because it's dry, you can just poke it right, flap it right on over. Don't be like that, Amy. Orange is beautiful. It makes sunsets and jack-o'-lanterns. It's a perfect color, and I'm not even a fall girl, and I love it. But I know a lot of people really hate orange. All right. A nice little burnish down there, getting it nice and flat. Now, did I miss my flap for this? It sure looks like I did. It's a good thing the Shaded Spruce is right around here. All right. So this is 1 1/2. All right, so pull that out here. Do 1 3/8. Nope, 1 1/2. So I want to go 5/8. That's what I want. And pale papaya. Who doesn't love pale papaya? It's orange. It's kind of peach, but I mean, it's basically orange. That's a gorgeous color. Ooh, and Calypso Coral. Yes, all of them. And then you pair it with navy. Doesn't get any better. All right. See, now that's a little bit crooked, so I'm going to pull it up and think good thoughts, think good thoughts. There we go. So as long as you don't press that Stampin' Seal down, you can pull it up like you would liquid adhesive. And then you push it down and then you're good. I gotta tell you, this light is messing with my eyes this night of navy and the Shaded Spruce. It's like messing with me tonight. All right, there we go. Oh, come on, guys. You're killing me, Smalls. All right. Did I not cut this one right? Looks like I'm going to have to take a hair off of this one too. that's 4, 4 and an 8, so that'll be 3 7/8. It's a good thing I did all this trimming ahead of time for it to all be wrong. Orange shag carpet. Nice, Rosie. All right, so we're going to use a little seal here to do the front. Once again, watching my layering, making sure that I've got that nice edge on to give that just peekaboo of shaded spruce. I'm going to put a little bit of hair on top. Kind of stop that a little bit soon. And the nice thing about this DSP is there's no orientation. It's just kind of out there, so you don't have to worry about being on the right side or not. Okay, so this is the little wonky part here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some tear tape and put it on about 3 strips of it on there. The reason I like the tear tape is because it's a little bit stronger than the seal. I don't have any Stampin' Seal Plus because I have all this tear tape, so I use it. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and just get the backings off of all of that. And then I'm going to hold my tongue just right to make sure that I get this put on here. Check the orientation. Yes, that's how I have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of sit it right there on the edge and then seal it down. All right, this is a little lower, but that's fine. All right. Next, I'm going to take some dimensionals. Where are you? There you are. And my Take Your Pick tool that I just put up for some reason. I'm just going to take a couple of these dimensionals, and I've got the minis tonight. And I'm just going to kind of put them all at the end, because I'm probably going to slide some flowers underneath there. So we'll put that just right there. And so it's still popped up, but it's giving us room to slide things underneath. And we'll have dimensionals on other things. So let's see here. On this sort of stuff, I'm going to use liquid adhesive. Let's see here. How do we want our flowers? Maybe hanging off the top here. There we go. And then, so obviously I could have done different colors here. There we are. And then we'll do this one underneath. So this is where we're going to add some more dimensionals, and I'm going to be real careful kind of watching how I'm going to place this. So I'm going to want one right here, and then one up at the top, and then one maybe right there. And then I'm going to use a little liquid adhesive, and I'm actually going to go ahead and take one of these guys and stick him under that sentiment guy. There we go. Kind of feed that under there. There we go. And then we're just gonna, I'm just gonna put a little liquid adhesive right there. All right. So you've got a nice, cute little cluster of flowers there. And let's finish it off. I gotta get this glue out of the way. Close it before I come down here. And it's opened. That happened this morning. All right. Let's use a little bit of these milky, adhesive back milky dots, which I think are beautiful because obviously you've got the blue, which I love. All right. So there we are. That's today's, oh, wait a second. I need to do my envelope. And you know what? I set it out to stamp it and then I didn't. So let's do that real quick. we can get those stamps to work again. Here we go. There's that one. There's that one. Thank you for all the love tonight, guys. I appreciate it. It's been kind of just out there tonight. All right. There's that. We'll do it the fill-in with the balmy blue. Oops. I touched that one, so that's going to be a mess. All right, so I'm just carefully lining it up. So when I'm lining up these flowers, what I do is I make sure that it's lined up down here and then this flower right there. If you've got those two, one in each corner, you're going to be good. Correct. We don't want any naked envelopes. That would be a tragedy. So we'll do that, and then we'll add a little bit of it DSP to the back, because any card that you send that's going to have this much on the outside, you know that they're going to love it. And all of the postmasters will be jealous too, because they know that you're getting some beautiful stuff in the mail. All right, a nice little seal. I know my mail guy at work is always like, what the heck is with all this stuff? All right, just a quick trim. All right, next week, not sure what we're going to do yet. I did some really pretty cards today. One of them may have to go over to next week. I may have to do that because I'm really proud of one of them. All right, so here is today's card. You've got a double flap card with lots of space to put wonderful words to your friends that you're sending it to. Thanks so much for your patience tonight. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you here next week. Thanks. Bye.